Right, okay. I'm going to try and hit you guys up with this, quick my opinion on this whole Roland Martin, Dr. Umar Johnson interview. Now, I'm a fan of both these guys, right? More so Dr. Umar Johnson than Roland Martin. But Roland Martin surprised me about 2 or 3 days ago. Now, I'm from the UK, right? I watch a lot of stuff that happens over in the States, especially now with this idiot that you got in charge, or the most powerful man in the world, my backside. Anyway, I digress. The Dr. Umar Johnson, Roland Martin interview. Now, the interview started, and straight away you could see the animosity Roland Martin had for Dr. Umar Johnson. It's almost like, it reminded me of that when the interview he had with that KKK guy, the right-wing guy, Richard Spencer. It reminded me his attitude that he took with him the minute the interview started. You could tell he didn't like the guy. You could tell he was there to try and pound on Dr. Umar Johnson. The problem is, Roland Martin's intellect is not on the level of Dr. Umar Johnson. And that's where he fell down. In the end, he got destroyed. He got destroyed. There's no other way to put it. Him and his guest he had on the show, the Newsone channel, they were all destroyed. At one point, Umar Johnson shot him down so much, he looked at him and he didn't have a word to say. Now why? Why is Roland Martin, why was he so critical? Why was he so aggressive in its questioning towards Dr. Umar Johnson, someone who is only trying to achieve good things in the black community? I couldn't understand it. I genuinely couldn't understand what the animosity was. You can disagree with the guy's opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. I disagree with some of the things he says, some of his views on interracial marriages. For one, I don't totally agree with it, but I understand what the point he's putting across. I understand what he's trying to say. You don't see a Jewish man marrying a black woman. When do you ever see a Jewish man marrying a black woman? So I understand what Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to put across. So for Roland Martin to come on this channel with his sort of republic, his right-wing sort of panel, who were just there to chastise and disagree with everything Dr. Umar Johnson had to say. And yet, but the worst thing with them was they couldn't back up anything, any of their state. They couldn't back anything up. So he started questioning him about his relation to Frederick Douglass. He explained that well. Roland Martin asked him questions about the school that you're trying to build. You know, are you suggesting is it not government funded or words to that effect? Now I'm in the UK. It's slightly different how it works over here to what it does in the US. But what Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to explain to him is that he's trying to create a private school for black kids in America. But it seems like this guy doesn't seem to I don't see why it's so difficult to understand. Then he goes on to question him about how much money he's raised, and the way he asked him the question was to suggest that he hasn't raised any money. But then Dr. Umar Johnson hit him back. I've raised $700,000, close to $1 million so far, to build this private school for black kids. Now, I'm lost here. I always looked at Roland Martin as someone who was quite empowered. You know, I don't know what his beef is with Dr. Umar Johnson. Maybe he has a personal beef with him that he has to explain. But to me, it was shocking, and I lost a lot of respect. In one interview, I lost a lot of respect for Roland Martin. Now, at one point during the interview, which was, I don't know, you take it, you say it was funny, some people see it as funny, some people wouldn't. Dr. Umar Johnson called one of the guests a coon. Now, it's not a phrase I would use. And Roland Martin got on his high horse. No one would use coon in my show. No one would use coon in my show. And Dr. Umar Johnson, well, he called, I can't remember what the guy referred to Dr. Umar Johnson as. I can't remember exactly, but don't quote me. Go and watch the interview. But it caused Dr. Umar Johnson to react in the way he did. Right, like I said, I'm not condoning what he did. You know, Dr. Umar Johnson apologized I believe he apologized for using the word. But Roland Martin then got on his high horse again. So, you know, it seemed like it was, from the get-go, was a beat-him-up interview, you know, to beat down on Dr. Umar Johnson. Like I said, The problem is with Roland Martin and his panel, his guest he had on the show, their intellect is not on the level of Dr. Umar Johnson. In fact, there isn't many people on this planet that could have some sort of intellectual conversation with that guy and come out on top. The guy is so knowledgeable. They question whether he was a doctor. He explained well. He explained fully why his qualification. Phone me or phone the school that I taught at, and get the lowdown on what my qualifications are. So people are just trying to disparage this guy. There's an agenda out there. Someone who is doing as well. Someone who is doing as well as Dr. Umar Johnson. Someone who is getting out there to the public, who is spreading knowledge to black people, knowledge of self, something we've been denied for centuries and centuries. Suddenly, we have to bring this guy down by whatever mean. And that's what the media now is trying to do. I didn't think Newsone would do that. I thought this would come from Fox or CNN or MSNBC, whatever channel you have there in America. I thought, that's the sort of channel that would bring. I didn't think Newsone and Roland Martin would attempt to bring the guy down in the way they did. And they failed miserably, which is why I'm laughing. It's funny, But let me tell you this, Dr. Umar Johnson, if you ever see this video, and I very much doubt you will, but if you ever do, we in the UK, a lot of us in the UK support you and a lot of things you say. We may not fully agree with everything you say, but we support what you have to say and we support your agenda. In America, what do you have? In the black community I'm referring to? What do you have? Do you have any banks? No. Do you have any schools? Probably not. Do you have any hospitals? Probably not. Do you have a community where a black person can go to a certain bank, a bank that's run by black people, like the Chinese have, like the European have? You don't have anything. This is what the guy's trying to create. So instead of trying to fight against him, like the rest of the probably most American, non-black America trying to do, why don't you try and work with him? Try to criticize him. Maybe you wouldn't agree. Yes, I understand you don't agree with everything he has to say. I don't agree with everything he has to say. But I understand what he's trying to understand, his agenda. And his agenda, believe me, it for our benefit, it fulfills our benefit more than the opposite, So, I found it really frustrating. I was really disappointed by Roland Martin. Say disappointed is probably an understatement. It's understated. I was flabbergasted by some of his line of questioning. He just said he just had this venom. He had a venom in him. He just wanted to, he was there to give Umar Johnson a hard time, and unfortunately he came out on the other side, and Dr. Umar Johnson walked out like a boss. Simple. He destroyed him. So, to conclude, I'd say, listen, support this guy. Support Dr. Umar Johnson. You may not agree with everything he has to say, but what he's trying to achieve is for the benefit of you. Trust me. And I'm living in the UK, I could see that. If you're living in the US, you should be able to see it a lot better than I can. The guy's trying to do something for you. Stop trying to bring him down. All this nonsense about, people are bad talking him, this one's saying that about him. It's nonsense. No one's really doing that. This is the media pushing this BS agenda. No one's really doing that. I'm telling you, this is what they do to bring someone down. They're trying to bring him down. They try to he's a black power guy. He's always talking about black people. That's what you do. That's what they do when black people try to uprise and try to uplift themselves. Oh yeah, he's some crazy black power guy. Yeah. No, he ain't. He's spitting knowledge. And there's no man on this planet, there's not many people on this planet that could have that sort of intellectual conversation with the guy, because he's that knowledgeable. Dr. Umar Johnson, baby. Understand? I'm out.